So for this lecture video, we will talk about gender theories. So on gender theories, we're focusing on gender stereotyping, ayan, perpetuating patriarchy and the female body exploitation. So Judith Butler goes far as to argue that gender is an objective natural things does not exist. So gender reality is performance, which means quite simply that is real only to the extent that is performed. So Butler posits that gender is a performance that is enacted by people to establish their identity. So Butler argues, class, that gender is not a natural or fixed trait, but rather something people perform their actions and behaviors. In other words, gender becomes real through the way people express and enact their daily lives. So ibig sabihin, class, ni Butler na yung kasarian daw ay hindi isang likas o permanenteng katangian. Sa halip, ito daw ay isang bagay na isinasagawa ng mga tao sa pamamagitan ng kanilang mga kilos o kaya naman asal. So sa madaling salita, nagiging totoo daw yung kasarian dahil sa paraan ng pagpapahayag at pagkilos ng mga tao sa kanilang pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay. Let's proceed to the next slide. So, patriarchy refers to the set of institutional structures like property rights, access to the position of power, relationship to the source of income that are based on the belief that the men and the women are dichotomous and unequal categories. So, the key to patriarchy is what might be called the dominant gender ideology towards sexual differences. So, the assumptions that physiological sex differences between males and females are related to differences in their character, behavior, and ability, such as gender. So, in the simplest patriarchy, it is a system, di ba, where men hold more power and control over things. Like, say, for example, the property, di ba, jobs, income. So, based on the belief that the men and women are naturally different and unequal. So, this system relies on the idea, di ba, that the physical differences between men and women lead to different abilities and rules in society. So, patriarchy is kung saan daw yung mga lalaki ay mas makampangyarihan, 'di ba? Or mas kontrolado yung bawat ari-arian. O kaya naman, let's say for example, gaya ng trabaho, 'di ba? O kaya naman yung income nila. So, pinaniniwalaan na magkaiba daw at hindi pantay-pantay yung mga lalaki at saka yung mga babae. So, yung sistemang ito ay nakabatay lamang tukla sa ideya, 'di ba? Pero ngayon, kung ikukumpara natin yung kababaihan kumpara sa kalalakihan, nagagawa na ng kababaihan kung ano yung nagagawa ng mga kalalakihan. So, through their physical na pagkakaiba lang naman 'to, kumpara kay lalaki at saka ni next, how is gender portrayed in popular culture? So, men are portrayed as more assertive or aggressive, ayan, adventurous, active, and victorious. While women naman daw are shown as passive, weak, ineffective, victimized, supportive, and laughable. So, basically, men are often depicted as strong, di ba? Bold and successful, while women are shown as weak, dependent, and submissive. So, dito class is, dito sa gender portrayed in popular culture, yung mga lalaki daw ay madalas na ipinapakita nila yung katapangan nila or yung pagiging agresibo or pagiging aktibo. At minsan sila daw yung mga madaling makakamit ng tagumpay. Habang naman daw yung mga kababaihan ay ipinapakita nila yung kanilang kahinaan or minsan ay walang magawa or minsan ay nagiging biktima, di ba? O kaya naman taga-suporta lamang daw yung mga kababaihan. What is the gender roles stereotype in media? So, defecting men in a professional roles more often, while defecting women in non-working recreational roles, especially in countries that show high degree inequalities. So, dito, pinapakita dito yung hindi pagkakapantay-pantay ni babae at saka ni lalaki. So, basically, in other countries kasi, with high degree inequality, men are often shown in professional jobs, while women naman daw are mostly shown at home or doing leisure activities. So, may mga bansa talaga na ganito pa rin yung kanilang paniniwala, no? So, mas pinapaboran pa rin yung mga kalalakihan kumpara sa mga kababaihan, di ba? So, nagkakaroon tayo dito ng gender inequalities. So, as you can see in the table, these are the example class of gender stereotyping. So, basically, girls are more fragile. So, minsan yung mga babae daw is sila ay nakikita lamang sa mga bahay, di ba? And then, girls are interested in fashion, the arts, and boys. Tama ba to? So, yung mga babae is, yung gender stereotyping nila is they are more interested in fashion and arts, di ba? At saka mahilig daw yung mga babae sa mga lalaki. But anyway, ayun lang naman to sa gender stereotyping. So, hindi naman lahat ganon. Another, girls are perfectionist and better at housework. So, ito, totoo naman talaga to na yung mga babae is they are more perfectionist than other men. So, they are see as sila yung magagaling sa housework, di ba? Then, girls are good with language. Ayan. So, sila yung magagaling through speaking or have a communication to other people. While boys naman class is, yung boys don't cry, di ba? So, yun yung gender stereotyping ng mga lalaki na kung saan hindi daw sila nagpapakita na umiiyak sila, di ba? Next, boys like video games and sports, as you can see, no? Boys talaga is they are maano sila sa mga laro, 'di ba? Video games at saka they are into sports. So, yun yung stereotyping ng mga lalaki. May mga ganito talaga mga characteristics yung mga lalaki, no? So, boys are more disorderly and less meticulous in doing household. So, basically, yung mga lalaki daw is sila yung mga hindi gaano metikuloso or tinatawag din na minsan mga tamad, di ba? Because hindi sila minsan, kumbaga hindi nila minsan nagagampanan yung mga gampanin nila sa kanilang tahanan. Or sila minsan yung hindi mautusan, di ba? Ayan, so yun lang naman. And also class, boys are good at math. So, magagaling daw sila sa mga numero, 'di ba? And then kumbaga magagaling mangwenta, 'di ba? So, 'yon. It is based on the gender stereotyping. Okay, next. This male dominance perpetuates beliefs and practices, cultural norms that whether consciously or unconsciously favor men over women, and these beliefs are not just held by men, but by the majority of the people in that society, whatever their gender. No? So, there is a gender stereotype in advertising class. So, the first one is the home care products and the housewife stereotype, female body exploitation, stereotyping beauty, like beauty products, ayan. So, stereotyping masculinity. So, dito class advertising, pagdating naman sa gender stereotype, minsan kasi napapansin natin na kapag yung mga beauty products, 'di ba? Talaga is mostly yung nagiging model or gumaganap is yung mga babae, 'di ba? And that is basically a stereotyping. So kapag naman yung mga lalaki, minsan sa mga action movies, 'di ba? Nakikita sila doon sa mga action movies or action series or anything basta based on actions. So mga lalaki yung mga gumaganap doon. At saka kung mapapansin din nyo, yung mga babae talaga is may mga advertisement na mga about sa appliances, 'di ba? Or mga anything na gamit sa bahay is mostly babae talaga yung nag-a-advertise. And that is basically and that is very stereotyping sa advertising or sa media, 'di ba? Kasi limitado lang yung mga lalaki na nag-a-advertise ng mga appliances o mga gamit, 'di ba? So, next, Let's proceed on perpetuating patriarchy. So, perpetuating patriarchy refers to actions, beliefs, or systems that sustain the dominance of men over women in a various aspects of the society. So, this can include reinforcing traditional gender roles, maintaining male privilege, and resisting efforts to achieve gender equality. So, perpetuating patriarchy means continuing to support where men have a power and control and power than women in the society. So this includes also keeping traditional gender roles and change or ensuring men have the advantages and opposing efforts to make men and women more equal. So basically, yung perpetuating patriarchy is yung sinusuportahan lamang natin yung mga kalalakihan, di ba, than other women because of the power and control na dapat yung lalaki is sila talaga yung mas kontrolado at may otoridad o may kapangyarihan sa isang society. So basically, yung perpetuating patriarchy is also very traditional na nangyayari sa ating society because they are more privileged, di ba? So sila yung may pribilehiyo na makilahok sa lahat ng bagay. Habang naman yung mga babae ay ano, higit na may maliliit na karapatan lamang, 'di ba? Halimbawa nito ay yung mga babae noon, 'di ba, ay hindi sila maaring bumoto or makilahok sa politika. So habang lumilipas yung panahon naman class, yung mga babae ay gumawa ng protesta, 'di ba? Or nagkaroon ng rally na ang mga kababaihan ay maaari ding makilahok sa lahat ng bagay. So kaya nga nagkaroon tayo ng tinatawag na feminist women empowerment or feminism, 'di ba? So, yung patriarchy during the Philippine sitting is basically umusbong siya nung panahon ng mga Kastila or the Spanish colonization na ang mga lalaki is they are more powerful or the authority to make or to take lead the society. Yung mga kababaihan naman is they are more limited to take responsibility when it comes to domestic. So basically yung panahon kumbaga yung panahon ng Espanyol is ang namumuno lang talaga ay yung mga lalaki, di ba? Pero sa panahon natin ngayon, mapalalaki o mapababae ay may karapatan, di ba, na mamuno. So let's proceed on theoretical frameworks of gender theory in the Philippines. So we have feminist theory class. So feminist theory in the Philippines is characterized by intersectional approach linking gender issues with broader social, economic, and political struggles. So in the Philippines, feminist theory combines gender issues with a broader social, economic, political challenges. It's based on the country's history and culture focused on the specific difficulties of Filipino women they face. So activists and scholars work to bring about the meaningful change or aiming for gender equality and social justice nationally and globally. So basically, yung feminist theory daw class, they're more focused on how women should face their struggles. And ito yung system na nagpabago sa lahat ng pananaw ng mga iba't ibang tao sa pagitan ng mga kababaihan. So yung feminist theory class is siya yung nagpabago din ng sistema ng patriarchy, yung pagiging dominance ng mga lalaki. Kasi yung feminist theory is siya yung nagpabago na kung ano yung nakikita ng mga lalaki doon sa mga kababaihan, di ba? So, gaya ng sinabi ko, nung nakaraang panahon daw or nung unang panahon, yung mga kababaihan wala silang karapatan para lumahok sa lahat. Lalo na sa politika, di ba? O karapatan na bumoto kasi yun nga, nagkaroon ng patriarchy. So, yung feminist system or feminist theory, sila yung nagpabago ng sistema or pananaw ng mga kalalakihan sa pagitan ng or para ma-avoid natin or mawala sa isipan ng mga iba't ibang tao na ang mga kababaihan din ay may karapatang makilahok at may karapatang mabuhay, di ba? Or magkaroon ng kapangyarihan din sa ating So there are feminist theorists and activists in the Philippines. So we have Gabriela Silang class. So si Gabriela Silang, siya yung unang nagpatatag ng feminism dito sa Pilipinas. And then siya din yung kauna-unahang kababaihan na nagsulong ng feminism dito sa Pilipinas. And then also, Gabriela Silang life can be explored through various lenses of feminist theory, including intersectionality, resistance, leadership, and representation. So her story also provides a powerful example of how women have historically navigated and challenged multiple forms of oppression. So basically, si Gabriela Silang yung nagpakita ng tunay na karapatang pambabae sa ating lipunan. At dahil sa kanyang story, isa siya sa tinitingalang feminism activist because through her leadership, dun siya nakilala. At siya din yung kinilalang pinakamagaling na feminist theorist dito sa Pilipinas. So, the second one is we have Luwalhati Bautista. So, Luwalhati Bautista contributes to feminist theory and literature are significant, particularly in the context of Filipino society. Her novels serve as a powerful medium of exploring feminist themes, diba? Challenging patriarchy norms and advocating for women's agency and empowerment. Through her work, Bautista not only provides a critique of the society structures that oppress women, but also celebrate their strength and resilience in the face of adversity. So, ayan. So, si Luwalhati Bautista class, nakilala siya because of her literature and feminist theory. So, ang nag-contribute, kumbaga, so ang nag-contribute, na-contribute niya sa feminism theory is nag-focus siya sa literature because yung literature na ginawa niya, doon nakita yung mga karapatan ng mga kababaihan, di ba? Kumbaga, nung unang panahon pa to. So, si Luwalhati, isa din siya sa nag-advocate ng mga kababaihan at siya din yung nagsulong na tinatawag nating women empowerment, 'di ba? So si Luwalhati Bautista class is marami din siyang isinulat na mga nobela tungkol sa temang pangkababaihan. So itong dalawa na to is tinatawag silang feminist theorist and activist. So let's proceed on the queer theory. So queer theory in the Philippines, like many other parts of the world, examine the societal and cultural constructions of gender and sexuality. So it seeks to deconstruct traditional narratives and challenge heteronormative structures. So queer theory in the Philippines, similar to elsewhere, looks at how society culture define gender and sexuality. So it aims to break down traditional ideas and question norms that assumes heterosexuality as the standard. So queer theory naman class, kumbaga is sinusulong dito yung mga other gender sexualities. So, kung sa feminism is more on sa kababaihan na isinusulong yung karapatan nila, sa queer theory naman is pangkahalatan na. So, yung queer theory is focus nito is on the other genders like the LGBTQIA+, di ba? Na talagang sinusulong ng iba't ibang Pilipino dito sa Pilipinas. So, yung layunin ng queer theory is to have equality, diba? Equality. So, yung LGBT community na is nagkakaroon ng power dito. So, layunin ng theory na to is to break down all the stereotypes. Then, when it comes to other sexualities, like yung nararanasan ng mga LGBT, diba? Or LGBTQ na gender discrimination, diba? So, yon isinusulong ng theory na to, yung queer theory. Yung gender discrimination, and then yung gender inequality, and then yung gender stereotyping. Next, kung sa feminism theory is we have Gabriela Selang and Luwalhati Bautista, sa queer theory naman class, may mga activists din na makilala dito. So we have Filipino queer theories. So the first one is Danton Remoto. So Danton Remoto class is a prominent Filipino writer, ayan, educator and LGBT plus rights advocate. So he has significantly contributed to literature with his poetry, fiction, and non-fiction work, often exploring themes of identity, sexuality, and social justice. Notable among his literacy contributes are his poetry collections. Itong tinatawag na Skin Voices Faces and The Black Sock Pajamas, as well as his novel Reverend. Ayan. So, as the founder and chairperson of LADLAD, a political party advocating of LGBT plus rights in the Philippines, Remoto has been instrumental in promoting the welfare of LGBT plus Filipinos through political representation and policy change. And he has also been a public speaker. Ayan, so marami, no? Media personality. So, malaming alam ni Danton Remoto. So, isa din siyang educator, teaching English and creative writing at Ateneo de Manila University. So, si Danton Remoto class is siya yung, kumbaga siya yung nagpasulong ng sistemang queer theory dito sa Pilipinas. So, siya yung nag-advocate at naging kilala bilang isang manunulat sa at isa din siyang educator dito sa Pilipinas. So, marami na. So, siya yung gumawa din siya class ng um, novel or mga poetry. Like for example, yung kanina, yung nabanggit ko, yung Skin Voices Faces, yung Black Sock Pajamas, as well as his novel, The River Run, no? So, gawa din niya yan. So, si Danton Remoto is, through his impact and further recognized through numerous awards for his literacy and advocacy work, he remains a leading figure in the fight of LGBT. So his rise in the Philippines inspiring many through his contribution to literature and activism. Then pangalawa, nandyan si Geniel C. Garcia. So si Geniel C. Garcia is a respected Filipino author, poet, and professor known for his work in creative writing, comparative literature, and LGBTQ studies. So with a background in journalism, ayan, comparative literature, and English studies. So he currently teaches at the University of the Philippines, Diliman, ayan, focusing on English, creative writing, and comparative literature. Garcia has written poetry collections, literacy criticism, so hindi ko nababasahin kasi ang dami na. Ayan. So si Geniel Garcia class ay isang professor sa UP Diliman. So tinatawag nitong expert sa English at creative writing, si Geniel Garcia. Pioneer din siya sa LGBTQ studies sa Pilipinas. And then yung layunin niya is maipakita yung tunay na karanasan ng mga Filipino queer. Next, let's proceed on the body image. So body image is the perception and attitude an individual has towards their own physical appearance. It encompasses how one sees their own body and how they believe their others perceive it. Positive or negative body image can significantly impact a person's mental and physical health. So basically sa body image, ito yung perception or attitude ng isang tao kung paano niya tingnan yung sarili niya, di ba? Especially yung katawan niya. It encompasses how one see, di ba, their own body and how they believe other perceive it. So, in a simple term, ang body image daw is yun nga, 'di ba? Kung paano natin tingnan yung sarili natin and then paano tayo naniniwala sa sinasabi ng ibang tao sa atin. And then paano natin nire-receive at kung paano natin pinaniniwalaan. And also, positive man to or negative, body image can significantly impact a person mental and physical health. So next, the fashion industry hypersexualized girls are women's clothing. So wearing tights, extremely shorts, or revealing dresses are characterized by boldness. So sa panahon ngayon, sa loob ng fashion, kumbaga sa fashion industry, minsan yung mga babae daw is na hypersexualize sila. Kumbaga nababasa sila because of their clothing. Kasi may mga tao na nagsusuot ng tie, di ba? Kumbaga fitted shorts or any revealing dresses um, na na nagsasabi na ikaw ay masamang babae kapag gano'n. So, hindi nila na-express yung sarili nila, di ba? Because of the toxic society. Naiisipin ng ibang tao na pag nagsuot ka ng ganito, ganyan, di ba? Masama ka na kaagad na babae. So, hindi nila maipikita kung ano yung gusto nila, di ba? O kung ano yung gustong sabihin na kung bakit sila nagsusuot ng gano'n. Kasi gina-judge na kaagad natin, di ba? So, importante kasi na alam natin na every one of us has the right to express their self. Kumbaga, kung ano yung gusto nila, is free sila na express nila, di ba? So, sometimes kasi, yung society ngayon, di ba, is hindi na ma-express ng tao kung ano yung gusto niya or ano yung gusto niyang suotin. Kasi nga, gaya ng sabi ko kanina, is na hypersexualized. Nababastos yung mga ibang babae dahil sa kanilang suot. Then, advertisements show them wearing highly provocative dresses, makeup often in an age-appropriate, hypersexualized postures, and body language. So, di ba, in media class, sa mga advertisement is makikita natin minsan na yung mga model noon is yung mga babae. So, ginagamit yung mga babae as model na makikita natin sila na nagsusuot sila ng mga provocative dresses. Then, nagmi-makeup din sila. And then sometimes kasi nagsusuot din sila ng mga revealing dresses na hindi appropriate na kung ano din yung edad nila. Like say for example, if ever na magsuot yung babae or matandang babae ng mga revealing dresses, is i-judge talaga sila na ibang tao. Kasi nga, hindi yun appropriate sa kanya. Kumbaga, if ever kasi na magsusuot ka ng mga fashion or gusto mong suotin, dapat daw i-consider mo din yung edad mo. So, if ever pwede ka ba ng ganito, ganyan. So, yun. So, para hindi ka i-judge ng ibang tao. So next, trying to keep up with the latest fashion. Often kids and parents becomes victims of these brands. Models, supermodels, beauty queens, even dolls are reinforce the idea that girls and women must have unrealistic beauty and figures. So, basically, yung minimin lang naman dito, class, is sa loob daw ng fashion, di ba? Kumbaga, is nagbabago daw. So, may mga latest na fashion tayong nakikita, di ba? And not only the kids, but yung parents is a victim din sa mga ganito. Like, kung mapapansin natin is yung mga parents natin is sumasabay din sila sa bago, di ba? Kumbaga, kung ano yung latest is binibili na din nila. Like, for example, yung tinatawag nating buying disorder, 'di ba? Sakit 'yon na bili tayo ng bili kahit hindi naman natin nasusuot or nagagamit. So, kumbaga, hindi lang daw yung mga bata or young generation yung victim ng mga ganito, kundi pati na yung mga parents natin is nakakisabay na din sa uso. Next, models, supermodels, beauty queens, ayan. So, or even the doll reinforced the idea that girls and women must have unrealistic beauty and figures. So, ayan. Kahit yung models natin, yung mga supermodels or even dolls, may mga nasasabi tayong negative sa kanila. Diba? Gaya ng pagsabi na, ay, unrealistic yung beauty na yan. Diba? So, kumbaga, hindi natin alam kumbaga kung ano yung nangyayari pero gina-judge na kagad natin through their physical appearance. Next, fashion brands not only to target women, customers but also price girls and women's products such as higher than boys and men's products. Gender-based pricing is often referred to as the pink tax. Ayan. So, sa fashion daw is hindi lang target niya is yung mga women customer, kundi yung mga price girls din. So, and usually, kung mapapansin natin, yung mga suot ng pambabae na o kaya naman product ng pambabae is mahal kaysa sa panlalaki. 'Di ba? Kumbaga, for me, yes din, no? Totoo naman to. Agree naman ako dito na yung mga product na pambabae is mahal kumpara sa panglalaki. And then, may tinatawag din tayo ditong pink tax. So pink tax kasi, ito yung pagiging unfair ng cost ng bayad. Kumbaga, sa mga product na pambabae at saka sa panglalaki. Kasi nga, in terms of sa babae, marami tayong binibili, which is the makeup, like that, di ba? So, mahal talaga yung mga nabibili natin. And then, branded. Kapag damit is branded, mahal din. That is why karamihan sa atin is gusto na lang magukay-ukay, di ba? So, sa ukay-ukay na lang kumakapit. Kasi pag branded, mahal talaga. So, next. Ayan. So, dito naman tayo sa sexual debauchery. So, class, pag sinabi kasi nating sexual debauchery, ito yung pag engage ng isang tao sa mga sexual activities. Yung mga sexual activities in a way na alam na nga nilang mali at hindi acceptable sa society is ginagawa pa rin nila. Di ba? And hindi din natin yun nakokontrol, di ba? Kasi may tinatawag tayong pleasure, di ba? Extreme indulgence in bodily pleasure or sexual pleasures. So, yun na nga. Just like what I'm saying kanina na nai-engage ng tao yung sarili nila sa mga ganon because of the pleasure. Next, pop culture represent gender sexuality that might be based more on stereotypes than reality. So it means kung ano yung nakikita natin sa movie, TV shows, or music video is yon. Nagpapatunay yon class na nakikita natin doon yung mga rules ng bawat isa ni babae at saka ni lalaki. And minsan, binibase din natin yung mga ideya natin but yung mga ideya natin but not in a real life situation. So, like for example, iniisip ng tao na kapag babae is mahina, di ba? Pag lalaki naman is strong sila. So, which is mali yun, di ba? Nasa stereotype kasi natin na nadi-discriminate natin yung mga, yung lahat ng gender. Kasi iniisip natin na pag babae is mahina at saka pag lalaki naman is malakas. So, kumbaga, yung mga babae sa bahay lang din, di ba? Or kaya naman pag lalaki ka naman is nasa work. So, of course, mali yung paniniwalang to, no? Kasi nga, sinasabi ko kanina na every one of us has or have the right to express themselves and may mga rights na tayo na lahat tayo ay merong opportunity. So, kumbaga, um, ayan, alam naman natin talaga na minsan may mga bagay talaga na para lang sa lalaki, 'di ba? May mga bagay na lalaki lang yung nakakakaya, 'di ba? Or nakakagawa. But kailangan din natin i-consider na yung mga babae is may kaya lang, 'di ba? Then next, women and their bodies have always been commodities and sources of pleasures and exploitation for patriarchal cultures. So, yung sinasabi nila na commodities, ito yung parang tinitingnan natin yung mga babae as object lang na ginagamit para sa pleasure ng isang tao. Lalo na kung yung culture or religion ng isang tao is dominated yung lalaki. Like for example, if ever na yung lalaki is dominated, he has the power na kontrolin yung babae, 'di ba? Na para bang tingin ng tingin nila sa babae is gamit lang na kung anong gusto niyang gawin sa babae is pwede niyang gawin, 'di ba? Kasi nga we are living in a patriarchal society. Na kumbaga, yung lalaki talaga yung nasusunod and yung babae is yung nagtaga-ubi lang, 'di ba? Kaya dito nangyayari class yung tinatawag nating discrimination. So next, televisions, films, commercials, music videos, socializations, and objectifications of women become increasingly growing trend. Mainstream media has always use a false and unreal image of every woman's physical appearance, body image, behavioral standards, and beauty. So, kumbaga, yung nakikita daw natin online or sa television, phones like that, or even the music video na makikita natin, talaga na yung mga nangyayaring sexualization is tumataas. Mainstream media has always use a false and unreal image of a woman's physical appearance, body image, behavioral standards, and beauty. So, ang nangyayari is, yung nakikita daw natin sa social media or mainstream media is nakakakita tayo minsan ng mga false and unreal images like hindi totoong physical appearance ng ibang babae na. And minsan kasi hindi lahat ng nakikita daw natin online is totoo. So may mga hindi natin alam na naretokada pala yung babae na yon kasi hangang-hanga tayo na ang tangos ng ilong niya. So, may mga ganon. Pero kapag nakakita tayo ng ganon, dapat hindi natin sila ginajudge kasi sarili nila na yun. Diba? Ginusto nila yon na magparetoke sila. Today, across television, billboards, glossy pages of magazine, and social media, we can see hypersexualized and unrealistic perfect female forms. Advertisement, music videos, and forms dehumanize girls and human and portray them as commodities. So women's bodies are used to sell everything from characters to entertainment. So, ano ba yung ibig sabihin dito? So, So ngayon nakikita natin 'di ba through social media or through media 'di ba like sa magazine is may mga na hypersexualized talaga na babae because of their kung ano yung pinapalabas nila. So basically kasi 'di ba kung napapansin natin yung mga sa for example sa calendar 'di ba minsan ginagamit nila yung babae as model para sa advertisement. And like sa magazine, may mga makikita din tayo na mga ganon, di ba? Na ipinapakita nila as model is yung mga babae. But always remember class na hindi lahat ng nakikita natin daw is always realistic. So, may mga unrealistic din tayong nakikita. So, dapat alam din natin kung alin ba doon yung totoo at hindi. So, that's it.
Okay, thank you class for your attention. I hope may natutunan kayo.